Hi class, it's Mr. Ariaga. I'm your speech instructor this semester. I just wanted to post an updated introduction video just so you kind of see who I am and so I can speak to a few issues that already have come up this semester. I have a link to a video I did last semester, and although very similar, we're still dealing with some issues with Revel. This is the second semester that we've used Revel, and lucky for you, last semester I did assignments on Revel, and it was a giant mess. And all we're going to do is use the actual textbook part of it. So none of your assignments will actually be through Revel. And this is actually something that I just was made aware of by one of our class members, that they're on the course assignment. There is an assignment that I had from Revel, and so I posted a new course calendar and removed it, so you're not responsible for it. There might be little issues like that come up on the calendar, and that's why I changed things. Or if we don't get to a certain point to take a test, I'll remove the test, things like that. So pretty much I have the course set the way I want it. I've been teaching going on 5 years here at Copeland College. I don't work for CBC full-time. I have another job. So that leads me to another issue, not an issue, another point I want to make. I cannot respond a lot of times instantly. I never promise any kind of instant response, but when you email me, I will respond within 24 hours at the most. Usually it's within an hour or two. So what I would recommend for you to do is to download the Blackboard app on your phone. That way, when I post an announcement, you'll get an alert on your phone. I would recommend, even though this class doesn't meet full-time, I would recommend that you check it at least once a day, if not several times a day. Things come up, I post announcements. Emails are going to be the only way that we communicate through Blackboard, so that's basically what it, because I don't have an office at CBC. I don't have a campus phone number, so the only way to get a hold of me is through Revel. Okay, I'm based in Beeville, but I teach a couple other classes at the college, but I'm not there very much. I'm only there twice a week, sorry, after 5 o'clock. So I teach the classes and then I go home. So that's a little bit about me. I try to be fair to all our students. I'm very consistent. That's one thing you'll find out about me. I'm very tough on deadlines. I'm very tough on you following the instructions, because I go to great lengths to make sure that that I've explained it every way I know how. A lot of our assignments, as you'll see as we get in the semester, are more than 1 page long, and I've done as much as I can to make sure that everything's very clear. Your responsibility as a student is, if you don't understand something, you need to ask me. There's no such thing as a stupid question in this course. If you're not sure of something, you need to ask me. I'll answer your question. I won't do the work for you, but I will answer your question. But the worst thing you can do, and I've said this a lot, the worst thing you can do is guess, and guess incorrectly. When you could have just asked and had that issue solved, because then if you guess incorrectly, it can impact your grade. So you want to make sure that you know exactly what's going on. As far as the speeches, on most of the assignments, I require the same thing. So for the speech, you're going to have a visual aid of some sort. You're going to have an outline. You're going to have a works cited page and a written paper. And I'm very consistent. That's one thing you'll learn about me, is I'm very consistent. As you see already, our assignments are assigned and due on the same day. So you have a week to complete your assignments. So today is Sunday right now, so week 1 assignments are going to be due tonight at 11:59. So week 2 assignments will be also assigned as the other ones coming due. So it'll be available 11:59 tonight. And so you'll have 7 days to do them. Like I said, everything is listed on the weekly folders, as well as the course calendar. So we have a couple more weeks before we start using Revel. Hopefully Those issues are getting worked out. I apologize because there's very little I can do when getting you into the Revel course. I really have no authority whatsoever. It's very limiting what me as an instructor can do, and it's frustrating because I want to help you, but I can't. My hands are tied because I don't have that the access. And so you'll have to contact Revel customer support. They're very fast responding. I think they work 24 hours a day, weekends, that kind of thing. So at least you have that. But like I said, if I hear one or two, usually one or more complaints that are the same, I go to my rep from Revel and let her know what's going on. So, and she's really quick to respond to me as well. So I apologize about that. I didn't, like I said, this is something new that we're doing with Revel. I'm not really 100% on board with it. I do. There are some really redeeming qualities for the digital textbook. As you'll see, once you get into Revel, you can actually download an audio file and listen to it like you would like a podcast or anything like on audible.com. So if you have to drive a distance every day, you can listen to your chapters or, working out, running, whatever. The accessibility of it's a lot better, a lot different than a traditional textbook. I'm old school. I'd rather have a textbook. That's why I've said, you can purchase the textbook. You can purchase the actual hard copy, but you have to have the Revel access card. That's what's required. The school has determined that's what we use. You can buy this if you want to make notes and do stuff. All the information is the same. It just looks a little different online. But you have that, I don't mind, but you have to have the access card. Okay. Other issues, I've noticed some of the assignments this first week of taking screenshots. It's a very simple process to do. If you go to the course, let's see, the course content tab on your on Blackboard, you're going to see a list of links, and one of them is how to save a screenshot. There's other ones like if you use Google Docs, how to save it as a PDF. Every issue that I could see or that comes up in class, I find a solution for it and then put a link to it. And so you're going to want to really start looking at that section on there because it'll tell you exactly how to do it. Instructions on how to upload a video to YouTube, which you're going to have to learn very soon because that's one of our assignments for next week, an introduction video, kind of like what I'm doing now. So that leads me to, this is an online class, so you don't have to have an internet at home or a computer at home, but you have to have reliable access. That means you have somewhere you can go, a computer you can use to do your work. Because if you can't or you don't, it's going to be really hard to be successful in this course. I've had some students who are concurrently enrolled in high school, and they only access it at school, for like 40 minutes a day, 1 or 2 days a week. That's not enough, especially when we get to some of our lengthier assignments. That's not an adequate amount of time. So you're going to have to think outside the box. If your relative has a computer with internet at home, or someone else or you have a computer but you don't have Wi-Fi, even if you're just an online student, you can go to any one of the CBC campuses. The one in Beeville, Alice, Kingsville, and Pleasanton, use the Wi-Fi. There's computer labs. Or there's plenty of places that have free Wi-Fi access, McDonald's or, things like that. So you got to really, really think outside the box. That's kind of what you should be doing in college. It's thinking outside the box. If you hit a roadblock, okay, let's think about this. How can I get this without having to, what's the solution here? You're going to have to start thinking outside the box, because in life, especially in college, you're going to have to deal with that. Things come up all the time. So like I said, I'm very clear as to what my expectations are for this course. The acknowledgement of syllabus that you completed or hopefully will complete by tonight and turn in is basically every situation that I've run into since I started teaching this course. I've had students who've attended class but have never turned in an assignment. Well, it's going to be really difficult to pass when you don't have anything to grade, things like that. So this class is not difficult. I'll be the first one to tell you that, and I'm perfectly okay with that. With saying that, because as long as you do your assignments, you follow the instructions. Sorry, my computer just locked. As long as my camera is on my computer, and I have a monitor over here, so you can't see that. As long as you follow the instructions, you do the work, and you turn everything in on time, you're going to be okay. This is not a difficult course. I realize that, but as long as you complete the assignments, like I said, I'm very consistent. I'm very fair. I don't allow extra credit or late work unless you've discussed it with me previously. Before the due date. So, some people, things happen, family emergencies, personal emergencies, things like that. But I can't let you complete an assignment 3 weeks after the fact, and I hadn't heard from you until you're 3 weeks after the assignment was due. You need to communicate with me, and we'll work it out. But there are some circumstances. But just having a lot on your plate as a student, that's not necessarily something I allow. I've done it. You have to prioritize. Even as an adult, there are times where I either take my computer on a vacation, or I don't do things because I have to grade papers or I have to write an assignment or things like that. And that was the same way when I was in college and grad school. You have to be able to plan accordingly. And just taking multiple classes, I used to take 18 hours at a time, so I don't have a whole lot of sympathy, but I give you 7 days to complete the assignment, and then for our speeches and things like that, you have actually more time. I usually give you at least 2 weeks, if not more. So as long as you communicate with me, you read the instructions, you follow the instructions, you're going to be fine in this course. I can't guarantee a certain what grade you'll make. That's up to you. But when something doesn't work right, let me know. Like we've been having issues with Revel or Blackboard. But if you hit a situation, you're not sure how to handle it, well, ask me. Say, well, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? And hopefully there's something that's going to work for you. But having just a list of excuses why something didn't happen, that's just not, that's not how things work in life, because I really want you to get something from this course, whether it's out of the textbook or just dealing with taking a class. I say this all the time, there are consequences for your actions or lack of actions, or lack of actions. So if you don't do something, you get a 0. You do something wrong, this happens. In real life, if I don't turn in something on time in my full-time job, there are consequences. If I don't pay our taxes when they're due, we get a penalty. And that's just how things work. So college is no different, because you're, essentially an adult taking this, college classes. It's a little different than high school. But, if you don't do something will happen. So you need to make sure that you do what's expected of you. And so, like I said, it may seem like I'm being mean, but I hold everyone accountable for their action or their lack of action. And so if I tell one student that I don't allow late work, and then I get asked by another student, I tell that student that same question, that same response. No late work, no, or no, I'm not going to allow this, or I'm not going to allow that. I'm very fair to my students, but it may seem like I'm just being mean, and that's not my intent at all. I'm trying to be fair, because I want to treat everyone the same, and consistency, because at some point this semester everything's just going to click. Okay, I've got these assignments, I have this time to do it, I'll do it then. You'll fall into the rhythm, but you just got to prioritize this class. If you're taking multiple classes, you're going to have to juggle. But if this is your only class that you're taking, it still needs to be priority. I understand if you have other, work, or children, or any other responsibilities. I understand, but I know that this class won't be front and center in your entire life at all times. But you just need to make sure that you find time. That's the beauty of an online class. You have the availability to work at 3 in the morning. Now, I won't necessarily, if you need to contact me, I won't necessarily respond to you at 3 in the morning. But you can still turn in your assignments. You can still read. You have time, so you should be able to find time to do this stuff. And that leads me to my next one of my last things I wanted to bring up. Contacting me. The way to contact me is through Blackboard Mail, not through phone, text message. I've had a student find me on social media and try to contact me that way. I am your instructor, and this is an online course, but there are times, I do have a life, and so there are times where I travel, and I'll always let you know that I'm going to be away from my computer for an extended amount of time. If I go travel for work, I may not be able to respond right away, or I may be, flying or something, and I might be able to respond quicker than normal. So I'll always let you know when those events happen, and I will always respond, no matter what. And like I said, it's usually within an hour or two, if not. Sometimes I'm in front of my computer and I see an email come through and I'll respond right away, but I don't necessarily want you to expect that all the time. I tend to I get up early and I start looking at stuff that's happened overnight in my classes. But around 9 o'clock, I unplug. Stuff I have to do at home, and so I get away from my computer. So I just want you to understand that. There's things that I don't. 3 in the morning is not the way to try to contact me. I've had students call me in the middle of the night or attempt to, and so I'm not always my jovial, polite self. But just know that there are some boundaries, and but the official means of communicating with me is through Blackboard. And then also when you're replying back to an email or responding to something I've emailed you about, hit reply. Don't create a new message, because then I have to go back and try to figure out what we talked about, because I have a lot of students. Just reply back to that original email, and so that way I can remember what we talked about and we don't have to spend time trying to figure out what I've already said. And that's you do all these things, you're going to be fine this course. Like I said, it's not rocket science. I really want you to get something from this semester. I'm going to try to post more of these videos as things come along. I always have the greatest intentions at the beginning of the semester, but then stuff happens. But I always send out an announcement. I usually send at least 1 to 2 a week. You'll see those come through. They'll come through as an announcement and an email. Especially if I get the same question from more than one student, that means I didn't explain something as clear as I should have, or I did something wrong. I've already done that this semester. I sent out an email or announcement saying, to this online class, talking about meeting on Monday or Tuesday. Well, I meant to send it to my hybrid class, not my online class, and so I've already messed up there. So there will be, if something doesn't sound right and I've said something, let me know. Like, hey, didn't you just say that? And then I'll let you know. But if I get a response, 1 or more questions about the same thing, I send an announcement. So you may not necessarily get a response directly to your email, but another announcement / email has already come through regarding the same thing. So and it's just an easier, more efficient way than responding to all the emails that I get. Regarding that, and then if there's something specific we can talk about. So anyway, that's really what I wanted to talk to you today about. Like I said, if you have questions, always email me. But I will, in most instances, I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, or give you the answer to something. I want you to think about it, because you need to use those critical thinking skills in college. And but if there's something that doesn't make sense to you and you're not sure, email me no matter what it is, and I'll never say any. And there's no stupid questions. There really isn't. You don't know how many times I've rewritten my assignments because I thought it was clear. It made sense in my head, but it may not necessarily make sense to someone else who's not me. So I try to do that and think I have it down every semester, and and it's not. So a lot of stuff I rewrite and rewrite and rewrite. But if you don't ask, then you'll never know. And so I really hope that you do. Like I said, I hope you really learned something from this course, and keep up the good work, and we'll get through the semester just fine. Okay, we'll talk to you later.